if you've ever used a dating app to meet people, you will know that although it is great being able to swipe through people and connect with people instantly, sometimes it can leave you feeling a little bit disappointed and a little bit disillusioned with the world of dating. Now, unfortunately, if you identify, as I do, as ethically non-monogamous, then sadly the same things still apply and we still come up against the same difficulties. But after you've watched this video, you will know exactly what to write in your bio, how to be appealing to members of the opposite sex, and also what not to write in your profile and what mistakes you don't want to be making. My name is Rosie Kay, and I'm an open relationship coach and swinger lifestyle expert. And over the last 10 years or so, and a bit more, that I've been involved in the world of ethical non-monogamy and all things swinging, it's pretty safe to say that I've got a pretty firm understanding and knowledge of the world of swinger dating apps in general, and swinger websites. And over on my blog site, ThisKindaGirl.co.uk, I aim to banish the myths and misconceptions associated with swingers and educate people as to who swingers really are. So this video, as you probably guessed, is all about swinger dating apps. And over the last few years, there has been a huge rise in the amount of users on the apps, but also the apps themselves. Because when I first started swinging, which was over 10 years ago, dating apps weren't really that much of a thing, but definitely swinger dating apps, they weren't really a thing either. So it's great to see that they've grown in popularity. But even the people who do identify as ethically non-monogamous, who are more open about the type of relationships they're wanting, we're still facing the same difficulties. So why is this? Well, unfortunately, um, it can be really hard to get down what you want to get down when you've only got a few hundred characters on that profile to sell yourself, essentially. But also with today's expendable mindset that a lot of users have when using these apps, standing out in a somewhat crowded marketplace can be really hard. If a person, and I speak from personal experience with this myself, being both the one being the swiper and the swipee, if the person doesn't meet every bit of criteria that you want, or perhaps that profile picture isn't exactly as you would like, or perhaps their bio doesn't read exactly as you'd like, and it doesn't quite, spark that imagination, it's really easy to disregard people before you've even given them a chance. And sometimes when people are only giving them, a limited amount of space to sell themselves, they are sometimes cast aside or swiped aside. So my job is essentially today helping you to write a profile which is going to be engaging and exciting and get you the matches that you want. So in my previous video that I made on this topic, I spoke about usernames and pictures to include, and also why putting a tagline in your profile is a really good idea. If you haven't done already, do please go and check that one out because you'll enjoy it and it covers a lot more about this. But today's video is all about what to write in your bio. Now, listen up. Apps appeal because they are short, they offer instant interaction and instant satisfaction. You haven't got to sit and read through a whole long kind of, monologue about somebody. But unfortunately, because you're only usually given a limited amount of space or characters to do this in, it can mean that you end up selling yourself short. Now, not all apps offer only a few hundred characters. Some offer an awful lot more, but due to the mentality of people using the apps, they're not used to people having a really lengthy, profile to read through. So sometimes having a profile would, and I'm terrible for this because I love to write and I would just sit and write for ages, and sometimes having something which is very wordy can sometimes be off-putting. So sometimes it's all about striking the right balance. You don't want it to be too short, but if you are given the opportunity, you don't want it to be too long either. And people are so accustomed to a short and sweet interaction. So when they see this big extended profile, that in itself can be a turn off. Um, and one of my clients last week who I had shared that with me. He said for him, seeing loads to read through is a turn off. Which, yeah, so I think each to their own, but yeah, I think it is something which some people don't always like. And striking the right balance between revealing your personality and not giving too much away too soon is one that isn't always an easy thing to do. But what you need to do is write a profile that raises your value in the eyes of the swiper. But so before you even get into writing about your bio, you need to think about creating something which really sells your best points, but also raises your value. We're going to talk about how to do this now. It's because essentially you want people thinking, wow, this person or this couple are too good to miss. So how do you do this? What am I talking about? If you want to meet genuine swingers, and let's face it, we all want this, you have to demonstrate that you don't have time to mess around with anyone who is less than serious. So your bio should indicate this, and this is what I mean by raising your value, okay? The minute that you state you facilitate your sexual experiences and you're not looking for Mr. or Miss Right to come along and make it all happen for you, and that you are a man, woman, couple, however you identify, who knows what they want, you become instantly more desirable. Now, this doesn't just work within the swinger community, it works in regular life and regular dating too. And it doesn't mean coming across as arrogant either. Being a high value person is all about knowing your worth and investing your time and effort accordingly. So, an example of somebody who doesn't understand what I mean by this, or an example of somebody who, you know, doesn't value themselves or isn't sure what they're looking for, essentially, they might write things like, I'm not sure why I'm here, I'm not sure what I'm looking for, or we are just looking for fun. This tells other users one thing: this person has no idea what they're doing and doesn't take it seriously. So therefore, they're not going to attract serious candidates. If you write something like, I'm a single woman in the lifestyle. I regularly visit clubs and parties alone. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. I like X, Y, and Z. I'm not looking for, to get involved in somebody's relationship. I'm not polyamorous. Speaking for myself here, not looking to get involved in somebody's relationship. I mean, I'm not polyamorous, but these are things I like. These are things I don't like. I'm very busy. I'm, leading life. All these things, because what you're saying is that you're in control of your own experiences, and even if the right person doesn't come along or right people don't come along, you're still going to go out and have those experiences. You're not waiting around for somebody to make it happen for you, which makes somebody think, okay, well, unless I snap that person up and send them a message, somebody else might do that. So that instantly raises your appeal, that instantly raises your value. Likewise, if it's a couple and you say, we are busy professionals, we've got a young family, but one weekend out of every 4, we like to go and swing, we like to go in this club, but we're into this, and this. We don't have time to mess around, or we don't have time, our time is very precious to us and we don't like it to be wasted. Again, this instantly makes you think, okay, well, whatever time that they put into something, whatever effort they put into something, chances are they're going to be very serious. So that's what I mean by kind of raising your game, essentially, and raising your value. So how to appeal to other swingers. To make a profile appealing on a swingers app or any app, not just a swinger dating app, you must know what it is others look for. The differences between the sexes are huge, and what a couple looks for and what a single person looks for are very different. It's important to remember that each of these sexes responds to different cues, and even if you're part of a couple, you will still react to these cues. Now, if you're a single woman and you want to appeal to potential couples, then you need to state what you are looking for, that you are confident and you are secure in your sexuality. Because very often for couples, even though they both want to enjoy it, and even both that's what they're both, they're there for, they want to swap as a couple or have another, single lady join them. Sometimes having a single woman join a couple can be quite frightening for the woman in the couple because she can still feel quite threatened. That's why I said about writing a profile that demonstrates that you are in charge of your own, sexual desires and your interests and your experiences. You're not looking to kind of rock the boat. Essentially, you're not looking to disrupt somebody's relationship. You understand what the lifestyle's about. You understand that there's boundaries. You're not looking to get involved emotionally. Now, on this is, I'm talking about swinging here. If you're polyamorous, then it can be quite different. Obviously, you are open to that and they are open to that, so that's fine. But very often this is the kind of thing which people look for in a profile, so bear that in mind when you're wanting to appeal to couples. Now, couples tend to look for relationship stability and longevity in other potential couples, and they look that other potential couples have established rules and boundaries. Remember, swinger couples hate drama. So if you're a swinger couple, writing something in your profile about your rules and boundaries, that you regularly talk about them, you share them, you're, very used to kind of discussing them within your own relationship and with other people, and that you've established those first. This gives other couples a lot of comfort. Also, you don't have to have been together for years before you start swinging. But what you can do is, say that how long you've been together. And I'm not saying that only people who are married should swing, or only people who've been together for X amount of years should swing. But sometimes writing, we've been together for 6 months, or we've been together for a year, or, whatever it is, that can show people longevity. And very often couples like this. Now, single men, I hate to break it to you fellas, but people generally are not always that interested in the size of your anatomy or pictures of your genitalia or how much of a bull you are. When looking for single men, what people find attractive is the ability to converse, respect for both parties, and a guy who's confident without being cocky. So again, your approach and how you come across to people is really important, and taking the time to find out about both the man and the woman, if it's a heterosexual couple, then that always is really well received. Instead of diving in there with the sex talk, instead talk about, their relationship, how long they've been together, what can you add to them, what are they looking for, what do they expect from you. These things really work well. Now, what not to write. Don't be generic. Generic profiles that lack originality or substance are just as much a turn off as those that have gone OTT with explicit pictures, in-depth descriptions, and what they want to do to people and their huge list of dislikes. As I mentioned, the last thing you want to do is create a profile that offers very little insight as to who you are. Unfortunately, people tend to make two mistakes. They either write a profile that sounds like this: hi, not sure what to write here. I'm new to this and looking for fun. Lol, I'm a genuine male. What else can I say? These are actual profiles that I've seen, by the way, that I'm sharing now. A lot more, my friend. You can share a lot more. Or they have profiles that sound like this. This one read, "We are a couple who are up for anything. We are here for sexy fun. Message us." Again, like what? This lukewarm offering was accompanied by 30 plus explicit naked pictures of themselves and others performing various different acts on one another. Now, you may think this is a little bit strange what I'm going to say next, but both of these profiles only generate mediocre levels of interest or time wasters. Why? Because they are not high value profiles. Low effort attracts low investment equals lousy interactions. I'm going to say that again for those at the back. Low effort attracts low investment, and that equals lousy interactions. If you come across a profile which is literally 2 sentences or a sentence, that tells me that you don't take that seriously, and that's how invested you are in your journey in the lifestyle. Now, it could be that you're very uncomfortable writing things online, you don't know how to do it, you're not sure what to write, in which case you need to go and educate yourself. So read this first, watch these videos first. If you don't put anything about yourself, then how on earth can you expect people to then write and respond and be engaging if that's all you've offered? Likewise, if you've put loads and loads of explicit pictures but only a tiny little bit of text, all this tells me is that there's not an awful lot going on, there's not much to actually build on, and you just like sharing lots of pictures. Whether these pictures are yours, whether you've taken them from someone, it's hard to tell because, again, your profile there's not really much to kind of back you up. So, again, these profiles are not very high value. Now, another thing which people do, so I'm just looking at my emails that's come through. Another thing that people do is simply list their size and their measurements. We are more than just our statistics, and sometimes it seems that we obsess about the size of one another. Now, suppose a lady has large breasts. That's great if she does. If she doesn't, then that's great as well. It really doesn't matter to people. We are defined by so much more than our size. If you're struggling to write something positive about yourself other than how big you are, this applies to women as well, in your bra size, then listen up. Go and focus on what makes you you. Guys, I know it's tempting to put the size of your member in your profile, but really, not only is this quite juvenile, but also it's quite self-deprecating. There's a lot more to you than simply a piece of your anatomy. So don't just lead with that. The amount of times I've seen measurements on profiles and people are reducing themselves down to their body parts. This needs to stop because you are a whole package, not just a penis, okay? Now, you have to think, what do you enjoy and what do you bring to the table? What do you have to offer? I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope it's given you some insight into what to write, how to write it, and also some of the do's and the don'ts. If you've enjoyed it and you'd like to find out more, then you can do over on my blog site, ThisKindaGirl.co.uk. I have a brand new article written titled How to Make a Great Swingers Dating Profile for an App. And in that article, not only do I include this information I've spoken about tonight, but also information about usernames, about pictures, about profile pictures, and which ones to include. Also in that article, I have created a template that you can use to draw up inspiration for creating your own swinger dating profile. And also in that article, there are 3 swinger dating apps that I recommend you check out, and you can sign up and you can try them out. So yeah, that's all included for you. Find the article on ThisKindaGirl.co.uk. I will put the link to that in the description for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you like my if you like this work, if you've liked this video and you'd like to see more of my work or my workshops, my practical guides, my downloadable guides, my behind the scenes content, and my swinger party reviews that I create, all of this wonderful content is all in one place, and it's called TKG Club. It's a members only area, which is very much one-to-one advice, expertise, and everything that I do all in one place. You can find the link to that in the description for this video, and I shall see you next time.